This is Ramon, channel is Alpha 4. My channel is Alpha Centurion 4, and we are doing books that have impacted my life. These are not necessarily the greatest books I read, such as Hamlet, or the greatest poems I read, such as The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe. No, this is the books that truly changed my life. And right now we are at the end of my college experience. I've now become a little bit douchey. I am dating an ex-client of mine. I'm 24 years old, and I have a lot of money, at least a lot of money for me at that time, and I am not being such a great person, being a little bit of a shithead, and thinking of myself as the good guy, which that never leads well. When you think of yourself as the good guy and everybody else is the villain, yeah. Basically, you think you can do no wrong. But I do start reading books that start showing me my blind spots, showing me where I'm being not necessarily arrogant, but where I am ignorant of things. One of those is the popol, Latin American philosophy. In my Latin American philosophy class, we read the popol, and it made me long for everything that I don't know about my ancestors, for that knowledge. Later on, because of this, I would end up dating a journalist who wrote political stuff about Mexico. And she first was really interested in me, not just because at the time I was in really great shape, but because I could talk American politics. And I watched a lot of political shows, so I was able to talk and flow with all that stuff. But then when she started talking about Mexican politics, I knew nothing. Like most Americans, I only know about American stuff, right? Or from the American political perspective, I guess I should say. And in that American political realm, you might hear the myth that the ancient native people never wrote anything, or they were illiterate. Well, they did write something. They were not illiterate. A lot of that stuff was destroyed and burned, and a lot of that stuff you can find fragments of, and it's real amazing. If you're Hispanic and you don't know about your ancestry, I do recommend you read the Popol Vuh just for that. To see who your people were before Christianity influenced them, or who they might have been. Speaking of pre-Christianity and pre-Christian history, I also read the histories, Herodotus, or Herodotus, but Herodotus is amazing. Reading him in a book I'm going to show in a little bit, Livy, made me realize just how full of shit we are in the modern age. Everything that's in the news right now, every news article you see, except for maybe the new tech stuff, it's in here. It's in here, and it's in Livy. There's nothing new. The political situations, the wars that we're fighting, the way that we're fighting wars, all of that stuff, the family drama, it's in here. We're not that advanced. We're not that enlightened. The Enlightenment, the Renaissance didn't advance us as far as you think. And the modern digital revolution, yeah, we're not as future-flung as you think we are. We are not as evolved as you think we are. Read the histories. But while you're learning about humanity, you might want to also learn about politics and warfare. And that's where Julius Caesar comes in. The conquest of Gaul is amazing. I've read the Civil War, and the Civil War is good. When you get to the other writer who contributes to the Civil War, meaning the Civil War in ancient Rome, by the way, Caesar's Civil War. When you read his work, yeah, it's good. But the conquest of Gaul, is amazing. The tactics, the way that he writes, he's a great writer. So yeah, go read Caesar. Another two books that I read at this time was The Persian Expedition. So up until this point in my life, I'd always wanted to be a soldier, and up until the point that I read this book, I always wanted to be a soldier or a police officer. And this is who I wanted to be. And then I read this book, and I realized how ill-equipped I was for such an adventure, and how just how much strength it takes to be a great man, and a great team, and a great leader. This is an amazing book. Mercenaries going into Persia, and then having to fight their way out when they're abandoned. The Heart of Darkness actually has some themes that are actually covered in there. Speaking of which, speaking of the Heart of Darkness, and speaking of themes that repeat, Julius Caesar was amazing. Alexander the Great is the person that Julius Caesar thought was amazing. And Alexander the Great is awesome. He is amazing. I've read a bunch of Alexander stuff ever since I first saw that movie, Alexander. Actually, ever since I first saw the documentary and special on either the History Channel or Discovery Channel or National Geographic, whichever one it was, where it went through the whole life of Alexander the Great, I was enthralled. When I then saw the movie, I was not very enthralled with the movie, but I wanted to learn more because I thought the movie did a great disservice. I thought the TV series documentary was better, and even the actors on it might have done a slightly more believable job. Well, I read from Plutarch. I've read from Arian. I've read from a lot of these guys about different perspectives on Alexander the Great. And one of the things that when you're talking to people of a mythicist type, when you're talking about religion, they will compare Jesus to other historical figures. You just simply have to bring these guys up and be like, look, this stuff has... Alexander's the son of a god, and he's, and this stuff is written way after Alexander died. So, but whatever, we don't question this, but people question the other one. All right, see you guys in the next one. This one went a little long, but it's because I really love these books.